Hi everybody, Bob with Knives Town here. Today we're going to take a look at a knife from Cold Steel. It's the Cold Steel Steel Tiger. This is a fixed blade karambit knife. The karambit has enjoyed a tremendous surge in popularity in the last few years. I believe brought on mostly by the Emerson karambit when that first came out. But it's gained a lot of ground. The karambits have a pretty big following, and a lot of people like it. So different companies have come out with their version of karambits. You can get folding karambits. You can get fixed blades like this one. This is Cold Steel's version of a fixed blade karambit. Comes in its own sheath, as you can see, and this sheath is made of Cold Steel's Securex, is what they call it. Would be, in my opinion, that would be called Kydex by any other company, but it's so similar to Kydex. I suppose there might be some slight differences, but not really perceptible. It's basically Kydex. You can see that it is molded to the shape of the blade here. The blade fits into a mold in there, and there's plenty of tie downs for it to get it put it onto something. It is a hard-sided and very, very rugged and wearable. You can see there's a slight texturing on there, but really it's smooth to the touch. On the back side, there is a clip for wearing, for belt clip type wear, and that does have a good snap on it. That's a good tight clip that'll hold it secure. The knife is held in with there's a pinch point right here. These two indents right there and right there, they pinch in and hold the knife, and then to remove the knife, one would simply pull like so, and there you go. There's the Steel Tiger. That blade has a beautiful finish and polish on it. It's highly polished, and we'll take a close-up look at that, but you can see already that it is. Technical specs on this knife. It does have a 5-inch blade, and that is made of AUS 8A steel. It's 5 millimeters thick, so that's a good thickness, good thick blade there. And the overall length of the knife is 9 3/4 inches. The weight is 5.4 ounces. The handle is made of two different materials, Grivory and Kraton. We'll take a close look at that. And then, as I mentioned, it comes with the Securex sheath. Let's take a look at this blade like I was mentioning. You really start out with a really decent thickness there. That 5 millimeters is, that's a real good, solid, thick blade to start with. So you start off really well, and the blade is distal tapered. You can see how that narrows down, and it goes down to just the keenest point. I mean, I'm not kidding you. That is just like a needle at the point there. That is just like a needle. You could pick a splinter out of your finger with that. I mean, it's just like that. The blade is flat ground, full flat grind from spine to edge. The knife is made in Japan, and it is cold steel sharp, as we've come to expect. That's just a very nice, very nicely finished blade. I like this feature there. That's a strong blade. The handle now is made of two different materials. The tang goes down into a Grivory wraparound. The Grivory is this portion here that you can see coming out. It's made of the Grivory is, it's a hard thermoplastic, nylon thermoplastic type of material, very rugged, very, very hard wearing, shatterproof, a very good choice. And then on top of the Grivory is overmolded on that is Kraton. And if you're familiar with Kraton, you know that it's a rubberized material, rubbery, tacky feeling, grippy. So you've got the Grivory overmolded with the Kraton. Couldn't get better than that. That's just a great combination. And I really like what they've done here with the texturing on the handle. I mean, you can see. I mean, you've got triple surface features here. They've got there's a scallops here for the finger grooves, and those are deeply cut in. They really grab your fingers. Your fingers really get a place to seat, and you can really get a good grip with the finger grooves and the scallops. Then you've got this stippling here, which that's where the meat of your hand is going to grab onto here. This stippling. And then on the spine, you've got these horizontal grip ridges there. So it's each area of the knife was looked at, and they asked, what would be the ideal surface feature to put in this particular area. And you can see that these lines wouldn't work as well here, and the stippling wouldn't be as good here. It's where the meat of your hand is. That's where it's against the stippling, and that works really well. And the spine keeps the knife from slipping this way. It's well thought out, very well thought out. Here's the seam on the handle. Now this is where the Kraton begins. This part that my finger's on right now, that's the Grivory right there. And then starting at this seam right here, then the Kraton is molded around the Grivory, and then the Grivory comes out again right here. So you can see there's you can see that. See how that see how it's a little bit soft there. And speaking of handles here now, I mean there's different ways to hold a karambit, and there's lots of debate about what the best way is, and everybody seems to have their own opinion. But there's at least three basic holds that this knife can easily afford. The first would be your traditional foregrip, like that, with your finger through the hole, right, just basic traditional grip like that, and that feels really good. You've got your fingers are grabbed into there. You've got this thumb rise that gives your thumb good pressure for directing or pressing down. Then you've got a choke-up grip, and it's made possible because of this little area that's been made onto the knife here under the blade. There's a smooth area of steel that's been made into the knife right there, and that's I'd say at least 3/4 of an inch right there before the grind, before the second bevel really kicks in, not until right about there. So you've got a good amount of steel there, and that can be used in a choke-up type of a hold, like this. Okay, so your pinky is in front of the ring, and your index finger is in front of the cross guard. There, see? And you're okay. You can grip right there all day long. You're safe right there. And you can hold it that way. That'll work. And then of course there is the reverse grip. The reverse grip is like this, and that's probably just as common. And on that grip, there has been jimping cut into the back of the ring here to accept your thumb. Right there. So you can see how that's been made there, and that works real well for your thumb right there, when you're using this kind of a motion. So that's, and then of course there are other holds and grips, and some people will choke back further hold it like this maybe, or there's other things that people do with these karambits, and different kinds of maneuvers with it. But those would be the three basic ones right there. It's really just an impressively designed knife. It's the construction is really solid. The handle is well thought out. The blade steel is AUS 8A, so you've got that's good stuff. You're not being skimped on it. It's nice and thick, and it comes down to just a ferocious point. You've got this was made in Japan. This knife is made in Japan, so it's good craftsmanship. It's good steel. It's well built. It's well designed. It's well thought out. Comes with a very nice sheath, and you know what? It's not really an expensive knife either. I mean, this is a medium-priced knife. So you can get into a high-performance karambit position for really just a very medium amount of money. It's not high priced. It's not overpriced at all. So I think this is this is really a great value. You're getting a good deal here, an excellent knife. That's the Cold Steel Steel Tiger. Well, thanks a lot. I'll see you again.